Welcome back, soul family. I am here with another demo. This demo came to me when I woke up this morning and I thought about it and I said, I feel like I need to film this. So before I got started, I got everything set up. So we are in my studio, aka my bedroom. So bear with everything that you see. And I look forward to showing this demo to you and trying to keep everything very simple. But today's video is going to be about emotional baggage and trying to explain that to you, and so that you can visually see it. I think that because I'm a visual learner, I think that's probably why I'm having all these ideas to show things to you visually, because I really want to make it seem very simple, because these are very simple concepts. And I think that once I just put them together in this way, it's really undeniable how easy it actually is. So, and then what happens is once I share this information with you, then you can go ahead and process it and think about it and see how you want to apply it in your life. But these are things that I learned on my awakening journey, and I want to share them with you. So everything I'm doing on the channel right now is building a foundation for the future. So when I have more stories about my life and things like that, I can refer back to these foundational videos to have people take a look at and review, so that they can understand some of the concepts, because I won't go over these same things all the time. So I may touch on them again, but not to the extent of like putting a demo together. So today's demo is going to be super fun. I'm very excited. And it might get a little bit sweaty for me. You know, the last one was a little bit messy with water, but this one might get a little sweaty for what you'll see that I'm gonna do. But what I wanna start off by saying is that if you don't already know this, I will be a broken record on this one. You are love. So I'm going to go ahead and start that right now. You are love. You are love. You are joy. You are love. You are joy. You are bliss. You are peace. Yeah. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay? All right. So, and these are inherent to you. These are on you. This is you. This is what you are. So this video is going to be about emotional baggage. And what I want to say about that is that you are energy. If you didn't already know that, I'm sure you probably have heard that at least once. If you're listening to me right now, you've probably run across that at least once. But I'm going to say it to you today, and I'm going to explain that a little bit. You are energy. Your body is made up of cells. And those cells on a very micro scale are atoms. So atoms are energy. So physics, if anybody here has learned about physics or is about to learn about physics, you'll know that there's an atom, and then there's electrons and protons, and I'll show a picture of what I'm talking about, but that's physics. So if you want to learn about science and physics, definitely take a look at that stuff. We're not going to go into a deep dive on physics or science, because this is more metaphysics and understanding things on a spiritual level. But what I love about physics, because I did get to learn it in college, is that I think that's like the best science to learn, because it just helps you understand things like how the world works and what everything's composed of. So, you know, all the way from the minute level of an atom all the way to the universe, every single thing like echoes the same thing. So your body is composed of cells, which are composed of at a very micro scale atoms, and those are vibrating because that's frequency. So everything is frequency. So when I talk to people, just anybody that I talk to that we get into this kind of stuff, I do mention that they are energy, and that they are creating a frequency, because energy creates a frequency. So we're going to be talking about the map of consciousness just very briefly, because that's just going to be something that's why I wanted to film this video. Actually, was I wanted to figure out a really good demo to present the information, but in a way that I have not even seen before. But I'm sure that this, when you see it, it'll make perfect sense to you. So the map of consciousness, I'm going to put a picture of it right there. It's like a cone, and this was devised by Dr. David R. Hawkins. If you haven't read the book, Letting Go, A Pathway to Surrender, or his other book, The Map of Consciousness, or the other many books that he wrote, I would definitely recommend checking those out. In the book that I wrote, Remembering You, A Toolkit for Your Journey, my very first chapter is about letting go, because I really do believe, and I'm going to show that in this example as well, letting go is foundational for being able to remember these things. Letting go and surrendering is foundational. So I just want to hone in on that, because I'll be talking about that again. So talking about the map of consciousness, you have the low scale and the high scale. The low scale is low frequency, the high scale is high frequency. You are high frequency. You are of the higher composition of the frequency chart that you're going to see. And the lower is shame, guilt, fear. And this is low, dense, heavy emotion. So in the lower state of consciousness, because you are energy, the lower state of consciousness is contracted and the higher state is expanded. So as you lighten your load, as we've talked about in some of my other videos about releasing triggers, you're lightening your load, you're becoming higher frequency. And then what the world is going to be able to do is match that frequency with you. I'm also going to do another video about relationships and how that applies to this topic about energy and frequency, because pretty much everything I'm going to talk about is energy and frequency to some extent. And I talk about this all the time with people whenever we have this conversation. So that's why this video needs to happen before I can talk about the next video, which will be about relationships. So when you are born without any baggage. You have nothing on you except what you came with, which is the things that you are. And that's why I have them attached to me. And in this demo, we're going to be using baggage because these are the things that you're going to be putting in your bags as you get older. So as you start to have conversations, as you start to learn language, as you start to talk to your parents, your family, you go to the grocery store, you go to daycare, you do all these things, you start to have stories that come to you. And that is basically the foundation of all of the things that you're going to carry with you in your life. So that's why inner child healing is so important, because a lot of the stuff that you take on, you know, usually between the ages of as soon as you can think and that maybe, you know, could be 3 or 4 or 5, but as soon as you can start to have memories, you start to take on the things that you carry with you. And then what happens is those things are carrying with you throughout your entire life until you let them go and surrender to them and release them. So that's why inner child healing is so important. Because when you like we talked about in the trigger video, when you think about something that is triggering you, you can usually pinpoint it to something that happened to you when you were a child. And then that's the thing that needs to be healed because you carried it with you for so long. You've carried that baggage with you so long that you forgot that that's where it actually came from. We're back. Okay, so now you are a couple years old now. You were born, you're a couple of years old now, and now you have a bag. This is your bag because a lot of things have happened to you, and now you've got to carry those things with you because you have decided that you want to take those things with you. So we're going to open up your bag. We're going to go ahead and put in the things that you already are, the things that are attached to me right now, those stickers that you saw, love, joy, peace. See if there's anything else. Love, joy, peace. We're putting those in. Those are the only ones we need right now. So we're going to go ahead and put those in the bag. They're really light. They're just going to go right in there. And then what we're going to do is you saw a spider and it scared you so much. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add a weight with the fear. So now you've got a story that you told where you're afraid of something, or you went on a roller coaster and it really scared, heights really scared you. So you're a kid and you're just starting to gather these things. Shame. Shame is the lowest one. It's the heaviest one. So we're going to put a heavy weight in here for shame. So we're going to go ahead and stick that in there. But what happened was you were at school and you had gum in your hair, and this actually is a true story. I was playing video games with I was a couple years old. I don't even remember, like maybe 5. And I had gotten some gum in my hair, and my friend Alex cut it out of my hair, and I had like a big chunk of hair missing. And so I felt shame for the fact that like my hair was all messed up, and I was only like 5. So shame's a big one. And so there's that story. Guilt. Here's another story. It's kind of bad. But my friend Alex and we got into a lot of mischief when we were younger. I carried this guilt for a long time. So I'm really happy to share this with you. I don't have it anymore, but anyway, we were playing around in lockers, and I don't remember exactly how it went down, but basically he was like, he got in the locker and I shut him in it, and he started pounding the locker, and I got so scared that I ran away, and obviously somebody else got him out of the locker pretty quickly. But I'm telling you right now, that was some guilt I carried for a long time. That was the worst thing I did for most of my life, like from my young childhood, was that. And I felt really, really bad about it. And I remember everybody was talking about how some kid put a kid in a locker, and that kid was me. So just so you know, that happened. That was me. That was a heavy weight, putting that heavy weight in here, because I did that, and I felt really, really bad about it. I carried that weight for a long time. So there's that one. grief. I had a guinea pig named Butterscotch, and Mr. Guinea Figsley was another one. So Mr. Guinea Figsley and Butterscotch, when they passed away, I held a lot of grief. So we're gonna go ahead and put that weight in there. So I was just really sad that they were gone. And then we've got also apathy, anger. Growing up, you know, my siblings and I would fight, as siblings would do, but there was a lot of anger associated with our dynamic. So this was, I always felt I was the youngest, so I was the weakest link, and so I carried a lot of anger because I really couldn't defend myself, and I was just kind of, I had to just be okay with the fact that I was getting beat up on and stuff. So anyway, those are the heaviest ones. So now I've just given you some stories from my childhood. Now this is my baggage that I have to carry. So let me just zip this up. And it's heavy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's really, actually, you would not be able to take that into an airport. I'm telling you right now, that they would tell you, like, you'd have to pay more than overpay for that. So this is my luggage. This is my baggage right here. I'm taking it with me, you know what I mean? Taking my baggage with me. So now in my life, I've got to take this wherever I go. I've got to take my baggage with me. So that's what happened. I had to take that stuff with me. And wherever I went, this was me. So, dang. All right, so we're going to put this back up on the bed. So hold on for a second. All right, so I opened the bag back up, but as you can see, everything got all messed up. So that's kind of a good symbology here. You know, as time passes, all this stuff just kind of gets all messed up. Like, you really just don't even know. Like, sometimes you just don't even know what, you have just so much going on. It's hard to just filter it out. You really just don't know how to do that. So that's when things start to really just weigh you down, the baggage, and you start to get anxiety and, you know, depression and all that good stuff, but not good stuff, but you know what I mean. You start to have to carry all this stuff with you, and you have to try to sort it out, but you just don't have time to sort it out. You've got other things going on. You're trying to go to school. You're trying to get love from other people, which is why I've got this other luggage. We're going to talk about that next. So anyway, going up the scale of consciousness, we also have desire, reason, acceptance, willingness, neutrality, courage, and pride. Pride is kind of also a little bit lower on the scale, but these are other ones that are slightly not as heavy. So I do have some other stuff. I've got some other stuff in here to sort of be the category for this stuff. So right now we've got all that stuff in there, depending upon your life and what you decided to carry that are your stories. So we've got all these things in here, and we've got it nice and full and heavy. So now we're going to close that up, and now we're looking at what we've got here. So we've got my luggage. This is the luggage that I am, and I didn't have this before. You know, I decided to take all of these things on as life happened to me. I didn't really think too much of it. I just took them. I just carried them with me. I took them along. So what happened was, growing up, I was very much an empathetic person. I learned how to get love by basically, you know, pleasing others. I was a people pleaser. That'll be something we'll be going into a deep dive on in another video. So I was a people pleaser. So what I would do is I would take this bag, which is others, and this is also full of the same stuff. So we're going to take the same stuff and move it over here. This is other people's stuff. They have a lot of the same stories. They've got their own stories too. And we can put some of this in here too. But they've got all their baggage. So they're others. And when you are a people pleaser, what you want to do is understand what other people need by having a little bit of what they have carrying, what they're carrying. You kind of take on what they're carrying because you want to help them. And that's how you get love in return, is you want to help carry. You basically take on their baggage so that you can understand them better, and so that you can kind of lighten their load a little bit. So what ends up happening is you've got two bags now. And I also want to say, even if you're not like, even if you're not you don't consider yourself empathic, you are still taking on other people's baggage. You are taking on their baggage anytime you think that you are. Really, it's whenever you think that you are, or when you get really emotionally attachments to other people, you're taking on their stuff. So what we're going to do now is, all right, so I still have these things on me. These are still me. These are still a part of me. But now I have luggage. I've got other people's luggage. I've got my luggage. And now I need to figure out how I'm going to get around with all this luggage because I decided that I wanted to take it with me. So these are the stories that I told myself that I've now got to carry with me. And these are other people's stories that they told themselves, but I want to take it with me because I want to help lighten their load, because by doing that, they're able to fill my cup up with some of their love, because I want to understand them and be a people pleaser to them, and also take their stuff with me so that I can get a little bit more love from them, because that's how I'm getting a lot of my love. And you know, it kind of makes sense. I mean, I've got all this stuff I'm carrying. I mean, I really am pretty overloaded right now. Now, one more thing that I'm going to add, just to complicate things further, is I've got my world bag. So this is my world. This is the stuff in the world. Anything that's going on in the world, I'm going to go ahead and put that on my back. I'm going to take that with me because I also want to take that with me. That's also baggage that I would like to have. So I've got the world on my shoulders. Whew. I've got these bags with me, and now I gotta go through life like this. I gotta go through life like this. Dang, this is a lot. So at some point you realize you don't need better luggage, you just need less of it. And what happens is sometimes what will happen is some of your stuff will actually open up and spill out of the luggage and just fall out. It'll just fall right out. It'll just open up on accident and just fall right out. And that's because something's going on in your life and you have to let it go. You just start letting it go. And that's another reason why triggers happen. They happen sort of one at a time. Now, sometimes it can happen faster than that, especially if you're being promoted to awaken. For example, when I was being promoted to awaken, a lot of stuff happened quickly for me. And what happened was all this stuff just fell out of the bag. And I had to look at it and I was like, oh my gosh, there's all this stuff on here. Sorry, I've still got my backpack on. I got to take the world off my shoulders for just a second. See, the world is off my shoulders. It feels really good. So I have all this stuff now that just fell on my bag, and I need to, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all this stuff. You will start clearing these one at a time as life happens, but what you need to do is be aware of them. So then when you can remember, oh, I'm afraid of spiders, you can figure out why that is, which was a childhood memory, and then you got bit by a spider, and then basically feel it to heal it, and then you can go ahead and let it go. I'm not afraid of spiders anymore, just so you know. I let that go. So yeah, the universe tested me a couple months ago with fear, and there was a giant spider on my foot in the shower, and I just couldn't. I thought it was like a piece of hair, and I looked down, it was a giant spider, and I was okay. I was okay, which is crazy because in the past, you know, it's happened with time, but in the past I was very, very, very scared. My family knows, like, I was just like deathly afraid of spiders. So, and then also the thing with Alex putting him in the locker, I let that go too. But there was there's more than likely a trigger that happened that reminded me of that event. And what I needed to do was sit with it, feel it to heal it, feel it till it dissolves, let it go. And then what happens is when you start to follow the trigger process, which I will link to this video, I'm going to put the luggage back up. So what happens is then when you start to do the triggers, when you start to let stuff go, we let fear go. We can take a weight out. And then we took shame out because I was okay with my appearance. I didn't care that I had, you know, the gum in my hair. It didn't bother me anymore. And then other things, I started to take those out. And so what you do is you start lightening your bag. And then all you've got left are maybe just a few things. But the things you already have, they're already here. then what happens is, as you get lighter and lighter and lighter, which I could tell you from my experience has happened, I can tell you from other people that I know's experiences that have followed the trigger process have had amazing results. They've gotten lighter and lighter and lighter. They don't have bags anymore. Maybe they have like a little purse, and that's easy to manage. And eventually they won't even have that little purse. Maybe they just have just a little purse left, and that's it. And they just put it on their back. And eventually that purse won't even exist. And then all you'll be left with are the things that are inside of you. And at that point, just like my cup demo, you just have so much overflowing because you've tapped back into that love that you are. And it's amazing. It's just, it feels so good. So the reason that I, had this idea was I don't know. I think it's because I just truly am a visual learner. And see, look, I got sweaty. I told you guys I was going to get sweaty doing this. I did. I need to like lift these weights. So I'm pretty sweaty right now. I don't have any shame. It is what it is, right? You get sweaty sometimes. So, and then also in our demo, I decided I wasn't going to carry other people's stuff anymore. And this is another point I want to make. So here's my bag. Here's other people's stuff. What happens is on your awakening journey, and this is what happened to me after my breakup and after my dad died, I had to create a good boundary for myself. So, sorry, I'm sweaty. I had to create a good boundary for myself because I didn't have a boundary. I had no boundary. And once I created that boundary, I made peace with the other people's bag. And I said, I don't need your bag. That those are your lessons. You're going to figure these out. These are your lessons. These are yours, not mine. I'm creating a boundary now. You guys can deal with this yourself. Same thing with the world. This is the world. I don't need to be soaking down in what the world's up to. I can be aware of it, but I can have an energetic boundary from it. So now that bag isn't mine anymore. This one's not mine anymore. This is still mine, but I've got less and less stuff. And now that I am just the things that I came with, I don't need this bag anymore. This is not my bag anymore. I'm done. So I'm retiring this bag. Goodbye, bag. And now I'm left with just what I came with. So energetic boundary is extremely important. And what you want to do for that is something I'll probably do just a short video on, is you want to imagine the wall and yourself. And every time you breathe, you imagine your body and you're holding your body and the wall, and you're imagining the walls away from you. And you're saying the wall's there, I'm here, there is space between us. And just do that over and over and over again and create this space between you and the wall. And then you're going to start doing that with every single thing that is existing in your world. And you're going to start to reclaim your energy, reclaim your space, reclaim yourself, so that you can lighten your bags, remove the bags that aren't yours, let those go, let them go, and start living your life with what you want to carry. And maybe you don't want to carry anything, because I didn't. I prefer simplicity. I prefer less is more. I'm a less is more type. I just want to keep what I have on me. I just want to have what's on my back. I don't want to have to deal with all this extra stuff. I really don't like stuff, even though I have like some stuff, because you're in my studio, So anyway, let life show you these things so that you can clear them. Don't get overwhelmed. The universe has got you. Your higher self has you. It will show you each thing that you need to clear as you go. And just consider it a fun little game. Like you get to, because this is a game. It's an energetic game that you decided to come in. And the reason you came was because you wanted to have this experience of what it was like to be physical, because you are infinite love. And so a knife can't cut itself. So you basically came here so that you could see yourself from different vantage points. And we're all different vantage points learning about ourselves. But in your particular case, in my particular case, we're getting to see ourselves again. And so we wanted to experience these things. We wanted to experience desire. We wanted to experience shame. We wanted to have all these experiences. We wanted to know what that felt like, because it's a gift to feel these things, even to have the most despair you've ever felt. Because there were times when I felt so much despair that I didn't want to, I was like, I don't even want this. Like, this is too much for me. But I wanted that. My higher self was probably like, yes, this is why I'm here. This is why you're there. I love it. It's perfect. And so I got to experience all these emotions on the frequency scale. You're getting to do that too. But you get to decide what you want to keep. Do you want to keep these? Have you had enough fun? Do you want to just have joy, peace, bliss now? I did. I was like, I just want peace. I don't want anything else except peace at this point. Love, joy, peace. I just want peace. Peace is like number one for me. So I started to let this stuff go. You can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it. 110%, 1,000%, 100,000%, you can do it. And that's why if I have to show you it in these ways and I have to do it again and again and again until it's better and better and better, I will. I will do whatever it takes to make it so that it's easy for you and so that you can lighten your bag. So you don't have to have a bag anymore. Because honestly, that's like, we're core messaging why I made this channel. I don't want you to carry these bags unless you want to. It's your choice. But I want to give you the tools so that you can make that choice, so that you're empowered because you are the master of your universe. So sorry, I'm getting a little choked up right now because this is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing this. So I am sorry. I'm still really sweaty. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to do more. I think all the time about different videos I want to post and different ways I can express things to you guys so that you don't feel alone on the spiritual awakening journey. So you don't feel alone here on this planet, because for a long time I did and now I don't anymore. And I want to connect with you guys. It's number one thing I've noticed is like, I know now I wanted this connection with you because I never had it. I really didn't. That's why I was so close to my dad, because I felt like he was the only one that was like me. And I didn't know a lot of people like me, or that thought this way. So if you're watching this, you resonate with what I'm saying, which means we definitely are soul family, from the same soul family. And more of us are starting to connect because the internet is amazing. And I'm just really happy that I was able to lighten my load, reduce the baggage that I had and got rid of it so I don't have anymore, so that I could step into doing this, so that I could meet you and come full circle in this journey. I feel like I've literally never been happier in my entire life than I am right now. So anyway, I'm gonna drink some water. I'm gonna cool off a little bit, but I really am so happy to have done this. If you would, please like, subscribe, comment, share if this message resonated. Let me know how this lands. I just would like to know what you guys think. Also, if you have any questions or ideas for videos, let me know. But right now, we're really just building a foundation for this channel so that I can refer back to these videos so I don't have to necessarily repeat the same things over, although I probably still will in some capacity. So anyway, just drop a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And I also have a free blog on my website where I update stories. And I also do frequency artwork if you want to check that out. And we'll have another video about that one of these days. I love you so much. Thank you for bearing with me. It got sweaty today, but that's okay. It was worth it. Anyway, I love you. Bye. One more point that I want to add to this video is that goes along with the baggage story, the baggage theory metaphor. Also, take what resonates, leave the rest. I almost forgot to say that. But one more thing that I wanted to add is somebody that you see that's really upset or exhibiting one of those qualities that we showed, shame, guilt, fear, anger, and they're just, let's just say, for example, you witness someone being really upset. They had an appointment and you're at the dentist's office, this person says they had an appointment and the people are like, no, we don't see that you're on our schedule. And they just like blow up and they're like super angry. Actually, that happened to me. I was an eye doctor, and that happened to somebody and they were just so upset. And I remember looking over at my mom and saying to them, I feel so much for them because they're holding so much baggage within them. So I had compassion for them. And I want to relay this message so that you feel that compassion as well. That they were so angry that it was spilling out of them. Their baggage is just too heavy. And in that moment, it was just, they were overwhelmed with the weight. They had my bag, the other's bag, the world bag. there was just, and there was probably a lot of stuff in those bags. They were really, really heavy bags. And so I just wanted to make that point that you don't know what someone's going through. You don't know how heavy their bags are. You don't know what they're carrying. You don't know how long they've been carrying it. It could be past many, many lifetimes. And what you're seeing is the top of the volcano erupting because everything else is unstable. They can't handle it. So have compassion for that person that you see going through that. Know that that's just the top of the iceberg, and that hopefully maybe they'll start to become aware and they can start kind of chipping away at it so that doesn't happen again. Because as you become lighter and lighter and lighter, that's just not going to happen. You're not going to have anything like that happen. The reason someone gets triggered in that example is because there's a whole lot of other stuff that's weighing them down, and they just can't do one more thing, and that's just the outside of what you're seeing. But the truth is that them not having that appointment in any other situation, it would just be like, well, it is what it is, right? I guess today wasn't the day for me to get my eyes done. Maybe that, I always believe in divine timing. So maybe the equipment wouldn't have worked that day or whatever. Whatever the reason is, there's divine timing involved. Everything's meant to be. Everything happens as it's meant to happen. Everything's happening for you. So for that guy to get upset in that moment, there was just too much he was carrying, too much baggage he was carrying. He just couldn't take any more. And that event had nothing to do with it. It was everything else. So have compassion for people anytime that you see them acting that way, out of sorts. Maybe they'll find this video, or one of you guys will talk to them, or they'll have a moment in time where something happens where they want to reach out and really not have that happen again, because they don't feel good. When that happens, they don't feel good. It doesn't feel good to have the stuff spilling out of your bag, and then you got to put it right back in that bag again because you're still carrying it. You're not letting it go. But you can make that choice to let it go anytime you want. You have the choice. You are the master of your universe. You have the choice to take those things out of your bag at any time, and you could just say, I simply let them go. You don't even have to go through the trigger process. You can just literally set the intention, say, I let this stuff go. But the trigger process is more of like an integration process to help you heal and love yourself. But if you can overcome it in the way of just letting it go, that's all it is really anyway. The trigger process is really just to let it go anyway. It's just a way to help you let it go that is like more easeful and graceful. But you can let it go now. You don't have to do anything except just let it go. And all that stuff, you can just start taking it out of your bag. So basically in the future, I'll be referring back to the baggage video and how you can lighten your load. So you can get lighter and lighter. You can use the trigger process. You can just simply let it go. Just again, one of the most powerful things you can do is let go and surrender. Release the old stories. Release attachment to those things that you took on, because those things are keeping you from the truth of yourself, which is that you are love. I love you.